Fisher.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I'm delighted to rise to my feet this afternoon, and I'm even more delighted that the member for Grainler is here because I don't know about obsessed, but I'm delighted that the member for Grainler is here because he walked out on my speech in the House of Representatives yesterday. So I'm very ever hopeful that he doesn't walk out on this speech today, because I know that the member for Grainler gets very upset when I talk about how, under his stewardship, when he was the Infrastructure and Transport Minister, that he did absolutely nothing for the Sunshine Coast. Mr Deputy Speaker, he did absolutely nothing for us on the Sunshine Coast. Since just last year, the federal government has announced a $743 million commitment to the Bruce Highway upgrades between Caloundra Road and Sunshine Motorway. That was under the Minister for Transport and Infrastructure, who's here this afternoon. It wasn't under the previous Infrastructure Minister, the Labor Infrastructure Minister, the member for Grainler. That is going to mean a significant improvement and change the lives of many of my constituents on the Sunshine Coast. All up, it's a $929 million project. And I noticed that the member for Grainler is trying to ignore what I'm saying right now, which is quite sad. But this stretch of road will change from 4 lanes to 6 lanes.
Order.
This road will change from 4 lanes to 6 lanes. It'll include a new diamond interchange at the Caloundra Road interchange. It'll include a new interchange at Sunshine Motorway. But just a few weeks ago in the budget announcement, the federal government announced a further $650 million for upgrading of the Bruce Highway south of Caloundra Road. And I know that many of my constituents are over the moon. We're seeing unprecedented expenditure spent on our Sunshine Coast section of the Bruce Highway, so that people travelling to and from Brisbane to the Sunshine Coast will no longer be trapped in gridlock traffic. Now, it's going to take 3 or 4 years to do this work, and you can't. What is it they say? You can't make an omelette without cracking an egg. There's going to be some difficult times ahead, but this government is prepared to make the difficult decisions. All up, just in my patch, the federal government has committed $1.6 billion on road infrastructure just on the Bruce Highway. And I want to congratulate both the Urban Infrastructure Minister and the Transport and Infrastructure Minister for the work that they have done for the Sunshine Coast. But look, we're not stopping there. We understand on this side of the House that despite the state Labor government in Queensland, we understand that commuting to and from Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast requires a holistic approach. We understand that we need a better rail system. We on the Sunshine Coast have put up with a single-line track between north of Beerburrum since the 1890s, for the 10th largest city in the country. And I'm very proud to be part of a government that has recently announced, through the National Rail Project, a $10 billion facility there for the state Labor government to tap into, to tender, to bid for the duplication of the North Coast Railway line. That rail line, that duplication, will ease and take a lot of pressure off the Bruce Highway, and I commend that project to the 2 federal ministers sitting here today. So my first question to the minister is, what is the likely impact of the National Rail Program around Australia? How will the government prioritise projects under the National Rail Program? And very importantly, has the minister received any contact from the Queensland government with regards to incorporating the duplication of the North Coast rail line between Beerburrum and Nambour into that program?